We did 6 pictures together altogether. And when I joined the Carry On team, I was virtually the new boy, and it was Ken who went out of his way to help me and teach me, because television I knew, filming I didn't. And he really, as I say, went out of his way to teach me filming, and I can never thank him enough for what he did.
The thing that surprised me about you that I didn't know was that you actually started as a professional comic at the age of 19.
Well, yeah, I started as a director, first of all, and then worked my way down and became a comic.
How did you actually get started? What was your first break?
My family have been in show business for nearly 300 years, so it was a natural progression for me to come into show business. I mean, say I hated school because I wasn't learning show business. So at 11 and a half, I ran away from school and got a job in the theatre. My father found me and said to the manager, give him all the dirty jobs and he'll want to go back to school. But of course there weren't any dirty jobs in the theatre. I loved it. So I stayed working in the theatre and became a carpenter, electrician, scenic artist, set designer, and then started directing when I was 15. And then when I was producing a pantomime at 19, the man who was playing Captain in Dick Whittington, Captain and Mate, he was taken ill during dress rehearsal, and the only person who could take over was me. So bang, my career was launched.
Do you regard yourself as an actor who does comedy or a comedian who can act?
That's a very fine line to divide. It's a loaded question, as you probably realise. When you are a character comedian, which I am, it is much harder to be a character comedian than it is to be an actor. An actor is a much easier progression because you don't have to make people laugh at the end of it. But of course people don't think that way, especially people in show business. They say, oh yes, he's the man with the cap and the twitch, but he's not an actor. And of course it's a very hard transition to make, to go from that to acting as I did.
You mentioned the cap and the twitch there, the
Yes.
Alf Ippititimus. Where did he come from?
Alf was born out of abject fear. I was doing a show with Joe Baker at Butlins, and I played the part of an old conjurer, and Joe came from the audience dressed as a little boy and messed all my tricks up. And this particular day, the show was packed out at Butlins, and the Redcoats locked the doors, forgetting that Joe had to come in from the audience. So there was me on stage saying, is there any lady, gentleman, or little boy or little girl who'd like to come up on the stage, which was Joe's cue. And much to my horror, there was no Joe. So inventive side of the organisation came into the brain, and the computer started working. And I picked up a tray of dreadful old props and bits and pieces and said, in the meantime, and then I suddenly remembered a Welsh character I used to do as a professor who had a twitch. And I said, if you'll watch the articles on way up they went in the air, and I couldn't believe the laugh it got from the audience. So I ignored the fact I'd done it, picked up all the things, put them back, as I was saying, I should way, and it got an even bigger laugh the second time. But by this time, Joe had literally kicked the door in and ran up on the stage, which I was choked, because I'd never gone so well in my life.